Yeah, so I'm a space systems engineer, and on December 24th, Peregrine lander by Astrobotic would be launched to the moon, and I have a device that I was in charge of. And with that experience, I actually started Lunka, and I hope that I will share that in a second. For today's session, I actually want to show how, oh, yeah, finally you will be able to see my screen in a second. So for today's session, I actually want to show how the development is happening, why it's happening in that manner. I'm using Linux. It has its own advantages and disadvantages, but yeah, basically I'm systems engineer, and frankly speaking, systems engineering is super boring activity. Most of the time, you have to deal with tons of documentation. You have to deal with the interfaces, and it's boring. To address that issue, I was thinking of making an open source requirements management tool for people who come from engineering. Maybe you've heard about IBM Doors. It's kind of an open source alternative. However, for most of the people in the world, requirements management sounds really boring. Unless you speak to space engineers. So there is a super easy way to check if a person is a space engineer, just start discussing requirements management. And if a person is passionate, then you got it. It's a space engineer. But it's really hard to sell it, so instead I decided why not to make the next step, because requirements management, that's kind of a baseline. However, in reality, we want to have models. We want to have actionable models that could be run. So instead of tons of documentations, like for example by NASA, you can encode those documentation in rules and automate the process. And on top of that, you can hide all the complexity, all the underlying complexity by making just a nice and useful interface, nice UX. So I hope you will be able to see that in a second. In the meantime, okay, it's almost there. So, Lunka is a 3D world. It's a metaverse. I don't know how what is the best way to describe it. But yeah, it's built on Godot engine. It's almost loaded, and you will see that in a second. Now it works. Now it works. Just give me a second. It works on any platform, on iOS, on macOS, on Linux. You can download it right now from local GitHub. It's really easy to find it. Let me get back. Um, yeah, at its core, it's really easy to design everything. With Lunko, it's built on top of Godot, and Godot is kind of a triple A, but fully open source game engine, meaning that you will always own everything that you have created. Uh, Frankly speaking, my display looks weird. However, the main thing is that right now, if you have any 3D models, you already can embed and use Lunka infrastructure to showcase your models to your community. So here, just let me open another scene. So now there is only one scene. Uh, I'll I'll unfortunately turn off the video because I want to show you. So right now it looks like a game. which is really confusing people. However, if you open any robotic simulator like Gazebo, Bbots, and tons of other, including, I forgot how it's called, from NVIDIA, you will see almost exactly the same. That's just because it's a simulation. And the goal of Lunka is to provide a system level simulation, meaning it will get all the different systems into one and allow you to use different models. Lunk has been in the development for a year, and months ago the first decent release was made, so you can see it right now. It's pretty basic, but it works over the internet, so you can actually explore things together with your friends. There are several different entities that you can control, like a robot, which represents you as the player, like a rocket, so there'll be added other things. And you can build on top of that. So if you have something in 3D, that's just 3D work is a basic thing. However, soon there'll be tools that help you to create diagrams, to create uh, all the needed tools for systems engineering and space. It's called model-based systems engineering. Meaning that basically you can create the model of the whole system. It's kind of easy, but you have to have a lot of connections. And you can actually visualize it and run it using, like native, have access to native 3D visualization. So in some sense, I perceive Godot as the uh, 3D operational system, and Lunka is a framework built on top of that operation system, focused on designing metaverse, on collaborative engineering, and tools like that. The first release that is here. You can download it. Also, not so long time ago, like a week, we finally had a decent browser version. However, right now it works only on Linux and Windows. That's a bug in the macOS, and you can find that version at alpha .lunca.space. And by the way, Lunca has issued profile NFTs, um, which will be used in the metaverse. Um, In terms of roadmap, you can go to GitHub. All the development is done in an open manner, so you can go to GitHub. You can contribute. You can help to prioritize um, features. And if you know anyone who is working on a metaverse, please let me know. I'm happy to collaborate and happy to help them to actually create their own 3D world in the web using the Lunco. Uh, in around right now, it's been under heavy development, and a lot of things in terms of structuring the project are happening because it's fully open source MIT license project, meaning everyone can just fork it and start even sell it under or your own brain, which has a lot of applications and limitations in terms of IP. Basically everything that you have is given for free, which kind of complicates how things works, but that's open source, and your support would be much appreciated on Gitcoin, on Give Us Rounds. So now you can see on the screen Lunco working in a browser. It's fully open source, so you can go and download it. And in 3 to 6 months, it will have decent collaboration tools like, Miro-like tools, diagrams, and integration with CAD viewers. Uh, focused on different sorts of engineering. Yes, it's highly inspired by lunar exploration, by space engineering. However, one of the reasons why I am a part of why I became a space Oh man, Plato X, I can see a comment. That's that. Thank you so much, and I'm happy to go into details later after the presentation. Uh, uh, so yeah, Lunka is here. It works. It has integration with the Web3 right now. I've launched it in a browser. Oops. Okay, I went back. Lunka is here. It's working in around from 3 to 6 months. It will become much more mature because right now it's a core and a browser version is not supporting networking yet. I think it will come in a couple of weeks, meaning that you'll actually will be able to open browser, connect your MetaMask wallet, um, and then start exploring the world together with your friend. To build the world right now, you have to use Godot, but again, it's super easy, it's free, it's fully open source, it has great and simple UX. So yeah, that's pretty what Lunko is. The core is here, and as Peter Thiel said, like the idea between 0 and 1. Lunka not so long time ago moved to stage 1 when you can download it. I'm really happy and yeah, happy to get in touch, happy to continue developing the project, and happy to build actually and to engineer stuff together. So that's pretty all I wanted to that I wanted to share right now. I'm really sorry that Lunk is loading really slow right now, but that's actually because the server is in the US and I'm in Thailand, so we are pretty far away. Oh, it's here. It's here. So I will turn off the camera for a second. So now it works in browsers. You have like rockets, etc., etc., etc. But that's just the beginning. Soon it will be more mature, and I hope that we will get rid of Notion. I really love and hate that tool. I love how productive it is, but I hate how proprietary it is. And it's also very, very limited. So that's all my presentation. Hey, Manuel, actually, previous poll from Molecule, it looks like interested in this space. So it's really cool to promote and push this space on all the possible channels. I think I'd like to end my presentation at this point in time, and happy to ask questions and continue conversation on Telegram. It's super easy to find me. I'm on active on most DSpace like DSpace, Gitcoin, Bankless, DeSci, sorry, Gitcoin, DeSci, Bankless, DeSci the groups. So yeah, happy to get in touch with everyone. Yep. Also, I want to mention is that. Right now, all the models, everything that is used in Lunke, it's simple. However, when we talk about engineering, for example, when you use tools like GMAT, General Mission Analysis Toolkit by NASA, that's super cool, that's very important software. For example, when you plan a mission, you use at different stages of the mission, you use different models. So, for example, if you want to launch a satellite, when it's close to Earth, you use one computational model. When it's far away from Earth, on, for example, cislunar transition, you use a different model. When it's close to the moon, you use a different model. That's how engineering works, and that's how Lunka soon will work. The core is designed to make integration with such models super easy. But yeah, that I'm not sure if it'll be useful for you and your project. When a complex structure emerge from chaos, when you have I don't I mean, that's the response why it looks like a synapses. That's of course not full response, but that's a partial response. I mean, it's kind of normal when you have complex structures. Also the thing that with the synapses, that's how we visualize them. So real synapse, it's a really weird thing if you think what in reality in terms of like as a cell. So it looks similar because it looks similar to the way how we visualize synapses. So that's kind of the way how human perceives. Sorry, it's complicated. Yeah, definitely. I'm a huge fan. I'm really interested in complex structures. I have met background. So, for example, I'm really amazed by Conway's Game of Life. It's super simple, but it's Turing full. Sorry, it's Turing complete, meaning that actually even such a system can make everything that we can imagine of.